Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Today's video I am sharing with you guys a apple chestnut Thanksgiving stuffing recipe. And this recipe is completely vegetarian and it's actually vegan as well, accidentally. So I wanted to show a stuffing recipe that didn't have any meat in it because I know there's a lot of vegetarians and vegans that watch my channel, and I myself don't eat a lot of meat, so this is a great option. And sometimes I just crave like stuffing, and I don't really want the whole like turkey and all that comes with it. So this is definitely a recipe that I'm going to be making again. And I was a virgin to the stuffing world. I actually had to do a lot of recipe planning for this one, although it's very basic to make. I just want to make sure there's a lot of spices and herbs in this. I want to make sure I got the measurements right, and I had to call my boyfriend's mom, or I like to call my mother-in-law, and she gave me her expert advice because she makes the best stuffing ever. And growing up in a Portuguese family, we don't have like the traditional like stuffing, gravy, or cranberry sauce. So I get to enjoy all that stuff when I go over to my boyfriend's family's place for holidays and stuff. So I got all of her expert advice. I included it into this video, as well as like a HealthNut twist by adding the chestnuts and some other things to this. So I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. If you guys aren't already subscribed to my channel, you can go ahead by doing so right here. It's completely free, and it just makes sure that you don't miss any future recipe videos like this one. So let's get into this stuffing recipe. Now first we're going to start off with preparing the chestnuts. If you've never done this, this is a really easy way to do it. I'm just scoring along the entire top, leaving the bottom stem closed. So I'm just going to show you. You want to be careful. You want to use a sharp knife and just watch your fingers, and then you'll just see the top will kind of slit open. Then you can go ahead and boil them for about anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes. And you just really want them to soften up before we roast them. And then once they're ready, you're going to go ahead and drain them and rinse them under cold water. Once you've rinsed them, go ahead, put them on a cutting board or plate, and then you can go ahead and start peeling them. Rinsing them just kind of helps stop the cooking and cool them down. Once they're peeled, you can go ahead and set these aside to use in our recipe later. And this is essentially like our meat replacement because the texture is perfect for this recipe. So you're going to need some bread. I used Ezekiel bread. You can also use brown rice, whatever one that you like. I'm using vegan chicken broth. Most chicken broths are actually vegan, believe it or not. You'll also need some giant green onions, aka leeks, celery, apples. You can use any one that you like. These were Macintosh. The chestnuts that we already boiled and peeled. Scallions. You can use red onion or white onion. I love scallions because they have a garlic flavor to them as well. Vegan butter. You can of course use regular butter. Garlic, lots of garlic. Thyme, sage, and rosemary. These were all fresh herbs. Sea salt, celery salt, black pepper, and poultry seasoning, which poultry seasoning actually has nutmeg in it too, which works really great in the stuffing. You're gonna go ahead on like low to medium heat, melt that butter until like most of it's pretty melted, and then you can go ahead and start adding in your other ingredients. I'm adding in my shallots. I think I called these scallions, they're shallots. My garlic, the leeks, celery, and you're gonna give that a stir, and you're gonna cook that for about like 3 minutes or so just to kind of lightly soften it. And as always, the full written recipe will be available at healthnutnutrition.ca, so you can go ahead, print that out, bookmark it, whatever you like. We're gonna add in our fresh herbs, not the other spices, the chestnuts and the apples, as well as some of the chicken broth. We'll add more of it later on, and those instructions will be on my blog like I mentioned. Gonna go ahead and stir that really well, make sure everything's combined, and you're gonna cook that for about 6 minutes or so. That's what I did, and everything is gonna sizzle and kind of blend together, and it's just gonna smell amazing. In a separate bowl, I used a really large bowl for this. You're gonna go ahead and throw in your stale bread. I forgot to mention, I cubed this bread and let it sit overnight just to kind of get stale. I'm gonna put on my spices. The ones that weren't fresh, like not the fresh herbs. You're gonna go ahead and mix that up so all the bread is evenly coated. Then we're gonna put our wet ingredients and pour it onto the dry bread. And the bread is just gonna soak all this goodness up, and it's gonna be infused with stuffing flavor, I promise. And then I started using the spatula, but really I knew I was just gonna go in there with my hands because this is like, you gotta give this recipe some love. And then you can kind of play around with how dry the bread is by adding more broth. I think I ended up using a full 2 cups. So just depending on what bread you use, you really want to play around with it. And you just kind of want it to be mushy, but not too wet that there's actual broth at the bottom. So this is the texture that I got. Then in a greased loaf pan, we're gonna add in the stuffing mixture, and I just kind of pat it in pretty good, and but not too hard, just like a firm pat. You want to be nice to your stuffing. So I'm just using the spatula to kind of make sure all the corners are filled, and it's going to be a nice loaf shape at the end when it cooks, because it's not really going to spread on its own. And then you want the middle to kind of be a mound. Since this isn't going in an actual turkey, we want to kind of replicate that turkey-ness so it's nice and moist in the middle. Yes, I said moist. And then crispy on the outside. I'm going to wrap it in foil. I'm going to kind of make a cocoon with it. I'm wrapping it on the top, and then I'm wrapping it on the bottom so that no heat is gonna escape. It's gonna be like our little vegan turkey. You're gonna go ahead and pop it into a preheated oven at 350, and we're gonna bake it for around 35 minutes or so. After 35 minutes, go ahead and remove the foil off the top of your loaf and let it crisp up for another 15 minutes in the oven. Once it's nice and golden brown on top, you can go ahead, transfer it to a cooling rack to let it cool. Once it's cooled, go ahead and slice it up. You can try and take it out, but I feel like this is a heavy loaf, so it's best to keep it in the pan because it might be still moist in the middle, which is what you want. Throw it on a plate, add some mushroom gravy, and this is the perfect side dish for any Thanksgiving dinner. So that's how you make my apple chestnut Thanksgiving stuffing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys make this for Thanksgiving, or if Thanksgiving has passed like it has in Canada. I hope you just like make this as a fun like Sunday roast like side or main course. Like add in some cauliflower, roasted cauliflower, some mushroom gravy. Like you can definitely add on to this and make a really yummy feast. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. You can do so by clicking right here. I had so much fun creating and filming this recipe for you guys. It was definitely out of my comfort zone, but I'm so glad I did it, and I hope you guys make it for your Thanksgiving. And I hope you guys have an awesome Thanksgiving dinner and just enjoy time with your friends and your family. And I would love it if you left a comment in the section down below letting me know one thing that you're grateful for this year. And I'll leave mine down below in the description box as well. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye! Today I have a very fall inspired recipe, and it is my apple pie slow cooker oatmeal. Oops. Come back, stuffing.